What's up, YouTube family? Today I'm going to show y'all how a woman can dig 2 75-foot rows of potatoes by herself using a tractor and a middle buster or a plow to do it. So I am going to unhook something off the tractor, hook it back up, and I'm going to attempt to do this. We have a line of storms coming through Arkansas, so I'm going to attempt to do this by myself. The kids are visiting grandparents and playing with cousins for a few days, and they were actually going to come help me, but it is early morning here, and I just looked at the weather and I've got to hurry if I want to get these dug. They're ready to be dug. The plants have died. When your potatoes start dying on top and they'll almost like disappear, it's time to dig your potatoes, and that has happened. Now I'm going to take you out there and show you just a tip. It makes it a whole lot easier. I had Emily buzz a push mower down the rows yesterday or the day before. That will just make it easier, especially if you're, well, even if you're going to be digging by hand. It's a lot less grass to contend with and dead plant material and stuff. So you could, you can leave that and then till that back in to feed your soil. I buzzed it off of there because we've dug potatoes before and it gets all tangled up in the plow and stuff, so I just had her trim it down. I'm gonna try to run this tractor and plow by myself. Sometimes it requires someone kind of standing on the plow to get it to dig deep enough, but I'm hoping this is gonna work, and I wanted to bring y'all along, so let's go. I'm heading out to the barn. The first step in this process is going to be unhook a box blade that I actually hooked up by myself yesterday afternoon. I try to do as much as I can when I'm here by myself. I cannot run this farm by myself. I know a lot of people think that I can. No way. There's so many things that I need Ben's help for. Sometimes I call him so many times during the day trying to do something to save him time when he gets home, that finally he just says, you know, hun, let's do that when I get home. I don't mind to help you, and I can't keep talking on the phone. I gotta work. So, and that's fine. He's a very, very good explainer. He can explain almost anything to me over the phone. He's very visual. He can point me to all the different parts of like the tractor or whatever I'm trying to do. He just remembers where everything's at on equipment. That's very helpful. So I do try to do as much as I can on my own to relieve stress off of him when he gets home, because there's a lot of things I just simply can't do. I can't fix a hay baler. I can't work on a tractor. Maybe I could, but I don't know how. So little things like digging potatoes and things like that, I try to do those things. But hooking and unhooking equipment is terribly difficult by yourself. And usually Lane and Emily's who helps me, but they're not here. So yesterday I thought, you know what, I can do this. I'm gonna figure this out on my own. So now, see, there's the box blade. I gotta get that off and get the plow on. I love it when a plan comes together. Got that off. Now I'm going to get the next one on. All right, so now I gotta get this thing hooked up. I gotta get the drawbar back on here and the arms back on here. So it's kind of hard to do by yourself to get all that lined up, but I'm gonna give it a whirl. And to be honest, the real truth is, before we do anything around here, we gotta move junk out of our way. I don't know if y'all got junk, but we got lots of junk. Anyway, I'm gonna try to do this. Be careful of these things. They will snap your finger. You gotta get them past the point where they're wanting to close, and then just be careful where you place your fingers on this thing, because it hurts. All right, I had to pause and get the feeding done because it's about to rain and the animals will just sit there and let their feet get wet if I feed them in the rain. So I probably wouldn't stand in the rain and eat either, but I'm gonna buzz down through these potato rows. You can see behind me that they have gotten a little grassy. We have hoed them numerous times, but grass just keeps coming back, and at some point the plants are way bigger than the grass, and I don't want to risk hitting potatoes or accidentally me or the kids hitting the stalk of the plant, so we just let it go at some point. But the potato vines died, and so all that was left pretty much was grass. And like I told you, Emily trimmed it down short so that it won't get hung up in the plow. So I'm about to do that. I'm going to plow both rows, then I'm going to go down through there and pick up what's there, probably plow again. But the rain is 10 or 15 miles away, so it's getting close. I gotta hurry. All right, time to get a bucket and start picking up. All right, the advantage to having someone help you is normally one of us stands on the back of that little plow and makes it dig deeper and can guide it, because you can see how crooked those rows are, and I drove straight, but that thing moves around back there, so I'm probably gonna have to buzz through there again. But it's about to rain. I'm gonna start picking these up. There's nothing fancy about it. I'm just gonna walk down through there and dig and pick them up. I'm gonna set y'all in the garage so this camera doesn't get wet, and I will let you know how this goes. All right guys, sorry it started sprinkling. I didn't want to get the camera wet, but this is the aftermath of me plowing through there a few times. I picked up potatoes. I'm hot and tired, a lot of bending over. My hair looks like it's a crazy wild mess. And it was a pitiful harvest, honestly. I knew it was probably gonna be, because in Arkansas we have had so much rain this spring, as I know a lot of y'all have. So I wound up just having to pick a time between rainstorms. Look at this ridiculous headband too. I am a wreck, y'all. Oh well. I thought about like going in and washing my face and cleaning up, but I thought, this is actually what I really look like. And half the time someone will pull up here. People pull up here all the time to whatever, for all kinds of reasons. Milk customers, to talk, whatever. They see the garden and they want to ask a question, and then I look like this. I'm pretty sure they're like, that lady's crazy. But anyway, we've had so much rain this spring that I just had to pick a time to get the potatoes in the ground. And then it just rained and rained and rained and rained and rained. And I think a lot of them just kind of sat there stagnant for a while, or else they kind of rotted. They wound up after quite a while putting on a little plant, but they just didn't hardly grow potatoes. It's the weirdest thing. This is the worst year we've ever had with it, but I think it's the weather. I'm gonna show y'all what I got. It's actually ridiculous. Sometimes off that amount of potato rows we'll get bushels and bushels, and I'll can, we'll eat off of them until we harvest in the fall. And sometimes they'll sprout and then we'll plant those for the fall, but that's not going to be the case this year. So I'm telling myself, sorry for the nasty hands, I'm telling myself I can't control the weather, and there's nothing I can do about all the rain we had this spring. But that rain we had this spring is making other things grow better than ever. My tomatoes are outrageous. They're so huge. The ones I planted a little bit later never went backwards. They're so huge, full of tomatoes. I'm gonna have more than I know what to do with. But all that same rain made the potato harvest not so great. But that's just how it is. I can't change that, and I'm thankful for the rain. So potatoes really aren't that expensive at the store. So the fact remains, I can go buy them at the store. I don't really want to. I like growing my own stuff. It's a challenge to me and it's fun. And I just like knowing that I grew it, but I can go buy it at the store. So it's just another one of those times I've got to go with the flow. I'm just thankful the tractor worked for me to be able to plow up what was there. Now, I did learn a lesson. I planted them, they weren't really very close to my tomato row that was covered in the tarp, but once I went to plowing, they were closer than I thought. And if you're gonna dig potatoes with a plow, you need a little bit of room on both sides because you're gonna have to plow a couple different times. I was gonna show y'all me plowing several times, but it started sprinkling. But I would plow and pick up what it'll throw some on the outside and put some down in the furrow. And then I'll plow again. I'll plow like that. Like when I plow, it would push dirt up. So then I'll plow this dirt that was pushed up and pick up what potatoes it turns out. And then I'll plow the dirt it pushed up over here and pick those up. And I'll just keep going until I feel satisfied. Today, I think I did about 3 or 4 times. If it's been, we might do 10 times just because that's our personalities. But there's probably still a few more out there if I wanted to get out there with the shovel and dig by the tomato row a little bit closer, because I feel like a lot of those were a little too close for that plow to turn up. But when I show you how many I got, it might be 25% more than what I have in here, which is still an outrageous, ridiculous low amount. So I don't even know if it's worth the time and trouble. But I'm gonna show you what I got, and I'm gonna show you what we do with them to keep them fresh. Sometimes I can them. I'm not canning this year because there's not enough of them. I'm gonna try to grow a lot of potatoes this fall. That's probably what I'll grow a lot of out in this front garden, because I don't need peas or beans or anything like that. I've got plenty. So I'll probably grow a ton of potatoes, and then maybe I'll can them in the fall, and I'll show y'all that. I've been canning potatoes for a few years, and when people come in our house and see the potatoes, they're like, what, you can potatoes? But I know a lot of y'all do too, and it's not crazy, and it's awesome to have on hand in the wintertime. So I'm gonna show you what I'm gonna do with them, then I'll see y'all later. Pitiful, pitiful. I got about 5 gallons, and sometimes I'll get 5 bushels. Oh well, I'm gonna choose to be thankful for what I got. Okay, I think the lighting's pretty bad up here. I'm gonna try to shine my cell phone. And I can't get my flashlight to work. So I hope y'all can see this. These are bread trays that we had scored from somewhere a while back. They're full of garlic right now, but I'm gonna clean one out and put the potatoes in it. Okay, we got these bread trays down here sitting on a frame made of just 2x4s, and there's some 4x4s running along the floor to hold the 2x4 frame up off the ground, and then it's covered in chicken wire. And a lot of times we won't even use these bread trays for potatoes. We'll take them off and lay the potatoes out on the chicken wire just to let them breathe from all directions. It's about that far off the floor. That's what the 4x4s are for, is holding that frame up just for airflow. This is just an outbuilding that stays pretty cool all summer. So it gives the potatoes a place to cure and just not rot in the hot weather. Again, the lighting might be horrible, but I just stacked some of the garlic up to give a spot on this chicken wire to spread the potatoes. So I'm gonna spread them out, and this job is done, and I will see y'all later.